areas where we concentrate our efforts, and it identifies priorities that give direction for development of our operating and capital budgets. The budget is the fiscal plan that supports the initiatives that will achieve the community vision and council priorities. The budget is established to not just finance the annual delivery of the programs, services, and capital projects, but also with a strong understanding of its impacts on future years and the ability to fund future projects and initiatives. The plan is built on 5 strategic pillars: growing Miramichi, supporting Miramichi, building Miramichi, sustaining Miramichi, and working together for Miramichi. Under the first pillar, growing Miramichi, the city is committed to supporting business growth, investment, and workforce attraction, and we are a 4-season destination where visitors and residents enjoy our parks, trails, and especially our amazing river. Under this pillar, some of 2023's initiatives that align with this pillar, are continued investment into the Economic Development Incentive Program, further commitment to additional work on the active transportation spine, refurbishment of the Ritchie Wharf Boardwalk, construction and maintenance of a skating trail, and budget to support regional tourism and regional housing authority. Under the second pillar, the city is committed to providing citizens with a high quality of life, including access to affordable housing, an active living lifestyle, and a commitment to health, well-being, and safety for all citizens. The following are some of the 2023 budgeted initiatives that align with this pillar: continued investment into Economic Development Incentive Program in the area of affordable housing, furnishings such as shade structures in several parks. The city will launch community corporate fundraising campaign for the multiplex, projects relating to increasing accessibility such as new door system at the LBA and washrooms on the 2nd floor of the Civic Center. And the fire department will be campaigning the importance of smoke detectors as part of their continued fire prevention efforts. Under the third pillar, building Miramichi, the city is committed to continued development and renewal of our key public infrastructure, as well as the continued support of new development. Some of the 2023 budgeted initiatives that align under this pillar are asphalt paving and various street reconstructions, new equipment purchases for public works, upgrades to the Miratech building as it requires a new cooling and heating system, new sidewalk on Percy Kelly Drive, as well as repair work to existing sidewalks, and betterments to both libraries. Under the fourth pillar, sustaining Miramichi, the city is committed to being a leader in environmental practices, and a community strongly committed to protecting the environment. The following are some of the 2023 budgeted initiatives that align with this pillar: a purchase of an electric truck as part of the city's efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions per Greenhouse Gas Local Action Plan fleet recommendations, purchase of a transit bus on behalf of the Miramichi Public Transit Commission, Inc. Design work will be completed for a 10-year shoreline protection plan to begin next year, and funding has been set aside to partner with business on the purchase install of electric vehicle chargers in the downtowns. Under the fifth and last pillar, working together for Miramichi, the city is committed to being an open and transparent city where citizens can be confident about the services they receive. We are an effective, fiscally responsible, and trusted local government with engaged, skilled, and collaborative employees. Some of the 2023 budgeted initiatives that align with this pillar are investment in the auditing monitoring system and acquiring cyber insurance to protect the city's information systems. Budget is set aside so that we continue with third-party departmental reviews. The Mayor's Committee will engage with youth to discuss their visions for the community. And of course, none of this plan or strategy is possible without staff working together to ensure that quality services are provided and the capital projects are carried out. This next slide provides a high-level view of the budget, providing a breakdown of key areas. Percentage breakdowns of the sources of revenue are indicated, and also the percentage of the budget that's used to sustain various segments of the expenditures. You also have a copy of this in your handout. Overall percentages are fairly consistent with previous year's percentages. And we will take a closer look at revenue and the expenditures section separately. So revenue, the proposed 2023 budget maintains the residential tax rate at 1.715 per $100 of assessed value. The residential rate for the two former LSDs, or portions of them, that became part of the city during the reform will be set at 5 cents higher than their former tax rate. The cap of 5 cent increase was imposed by the province. The most that we could move up their former tax rate was 5 cents. A multiplier of 1.6 was used for determining the non-residential and heavy industrial tax rates. This increase from 1.5 is in connection to the province's decision to lower their non-residential taxes in an effort to create room for more tax revenue generation for municipalities. The municipal tax base increased by 8.52% over last year, and this increase is attributed mostly to residential market value increases. The average across the province was 10.9%, so Miramishi's increase was below provincial average. There was a decrease in the equalization grant in the amount of $209,138. The core funding part of this grant was cut from the city, and more will continue to be cut, but be phased out over the next 5 years. These funds are being redirected to the regional service commissions instead. And non-tax revenue increased mostly due to a carry-forward surplus from 2021, and also due to $335,000 in revenue we expect to receive from the Greater Miramichi Regional Service Commission as payment for services that the city's Economic Development and Tourism Department is providing on their behalf. So moving on to operating and capital expenditures, a significant part of preparing a budget involves all departments striving to reduce their operational costs through efficiencies and eliminating waste, and yet maintain the same level of quality service delivery to the citizens of Miramichi. 81.01% of the budget is dedicated to investing in the sustainability of our programs, services, and maintenance of infrastructure. 43.74% of the budget is salary or personnel-related costs. There's little flexibility in controlling some of these costs as they are mostly driven by collective agreement wage schedules and benefit rates. And the majority of the increase is related to new positions, mostly temporary or seasonal, in the areas of the police department, community health and recreation, and public works. And some of the increase is attributable to the bridge closure risk mitigation plan. Non-personnel operational costs account for 37.27% of the total budget, and various increases in this area were reviewed in detail with Council on November 8th and 10th. Moving on to the proposed 2023 general capital budget. So the entire list of proposed capital projects is part of your handout. This list is broken down by department. These projects were presented to Council on October 20th and 25th for discussion. This slide, this slide provides a breakdown on the sources of funding for 2023 capital projects. A detailed breakdown of this is provided in your handout as well. And also you can see here a breakdown of the project costs by department. And I think I covered the majority of the individual capital projects earlier going through the strategic plan pillars. This slide provides a monetary breakdown in terms of area of investment. So road work and sidewalks, 5.8 million, multiplex 10 million, land improvements close to a little over 1 million, upgrades to city buildings 2.66 million, and ongoing fleet replacement a total 1,047,000. And so that's all I got.
Thank you, Director Gorman. So if there are any questions for Director Gorman, we can take them now. And of course, there will be opportunity to speak and ask questions on each of the 4 motions as well. So I think we'll save maybe the questions, Director Gorman, for as we work our way through the motion. So thank you very much for the presentation and all of your hard work and everyone's hard work as we've gone through this process in the last few weeks. So if turning our attention to the budgets and the 4 motions, we start with the utility budget, and in specifically with the utility capital budget. So is there a member of council willing to make the utility capital budget motion? Councillor Ross Robinson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that the 2023 utility capital budget totaling $3.7 million be approved and allocated in accordance with the contents of the management report FIN 2022-02 and the listing attached thereto.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor King. On the question. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the utility operating budget. Councillor Ross Robinson, maybe we'll stay with you.
Wonderful, thanks. Thank you, Your Worship. Be it so resolved that pursuant to paragraph 117, subsection 4 of the Local Governance Act, the total budget for the 2023 water and wastewater utility for the ensuing year would consist of total revenues of $6,530,178 and total expenditures of $6,530,178.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Harris. On the question. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the general capital budget. Councillor Arsenault, as the chair of the Finance Department.
Absolutely. I move that the 2023 general capital budget totaling $21,076,500 be approved and allocated in accordance with the contents of Management Report FIN-2022-02 and the listing attached thereto.
I see Councillor Johnston has his hand raised, so I'm going to take him as the seconder of the motion. And then, Councillor Arsenault, did you want to speak first on the motion? If not, I'll go to Councillor Johnston. But yes, we'll go to you first, and then we'll go to Councillor Johnston.
Yeah, thank you. So I do want to thank everybody that put all the work into putting this together. It's been an incredible amount of work for everybody, and I want to thank Director Gorman for that, and all of our directors and staff, because I know that there's been a lot. There's been a lot of discussion around the items to include and not include. So it's been a challenge for sure, but pleased where we've landed, and have a couple of questions for other motions, but we'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Johnston.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I apologize for having to join virtually again this evening, but I'm still in recovery mode. I should be back in action next week. I'm having a little difficulty hearing. The conversations are breaking up. So please bear with me while I ask a clarification question. I just want to make sure that what I'm voting on, as I've stated before in our last meeting, I will not be supporting the budget per se, or the portion of that leaves out the parking lot for the Downtown Newcastle Business Association. So I just want clarification as to what motion will encompass that piece. Thank you.
That is the motion that is currently on the floor. This motion. That
is currently on the floor, is that what you said, Your Worship?
Yes. So this is the one that would include. This is the capital one. So this is the one relevant to the parking lot.
Okay. So I thank you for that, and again, thank you for your patience. I am having some difficulty hearing. But I will not be supporting this portion of the budget. It's a matter of integrity for me, and I believe that we need to finish what we started with the Downtown Newcastle Business Association and the work that was promised to them in terms of the parking, and I will be voting nay on this portion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Regarding the capital budget, yes, Councillor Duplessis.
Just want to speak to that. This issue of a promise made, I just want to get clarity from that from a staff's perspective. I just need clarity on this issue of ethics and promises.
I can speak to some of it. We had conversations with the Downtown Business Association. We stated that it was, our intention to recommend the paving, especially when we had the fallout from the development last year by the Royal Bank and the changes that were going on. When the staff discussed this, the idea was we did not get lobbied until when we started doing the parking enforcement is when we heard from the downtowns as to the safety issues and the need to do the parking lot, which we acknowledged. And our intention is not to be as onerous with the enforcement on the parking until this parking lot is done, as a way to not force people into an environment they're not comfortable with. And I think some of those areas have been paved, but there wasn't as much a promise or a request by them, but an acknowledgement by staff that we would be looking to improve the parking lot in terms of the parking enforcement and the encouragement to park in that area and not on the streets. That's where it, for the most part, came up.
Thank you, Councillor.
I can speak on the budget while I.
Yes,
here.
yes, absolutely.
I appreciate that clarity. I wasn't part of those meetings, so this all comes to me second and third and sometimes fourth hand. Back to the budget, I'll be supporting the budget. I think the framing of it around the strategic priorities, I think that's a really nice kind of capstone to the process we've gone through. And I think credit to staff. There's been a lot made in this council around reading the room, and I think we've done that well to this point. And credit to council as well. We came in here with a new procedural bylaw, a new way of working, a new way of operating. Our doors are open 90% of the time, and I think it's a lot of hard work from everyone to do this in a respectful way and to do it with the sense of consensus and collaboration. Takes a lot of hard work and a lot of mental energy, so props to everyone here at this table and also to the staff involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Harris?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. I just want to speak on Councillor Johnson. He brought that up last week, and we've, I don't know if everybody has, I know a few of us have got emails or messages about the parking lot for downtown on this side, I guess. It was never a promise that came out of my mouth to make sure that parking lot was done, and I don't believe it was a promise of the council and the manager. I thank you for your words here tonight. I mean, next year is going to be a very turbulent summer, I think, with the closing of the Centennial Bridge. We only have 1 year to do King George Highway with the designated highways from the province for our money. Director Rao had brought that to us. So, we're gonna have a lot of construction going on, and really, as council, I don't really want to hold up traffic any more than we're going to be blamed for that's out of our hands. And it's going to be a lot of work next summer around the city to get the traffic flowing. So, I do appreciate that it was on the budget. We had to come up with and the staff went to work last week. We had to cut, over $1 million from the budget to bring in no tax increase this year. And there's a lot of work to do in this budget, maybe more than what we can do. But I think, it's no budget's ever perfect. But I think this is something that we've all agreed to. And same as Councillor DePlacy. I mean, well done by all staff and well done by council that we're sitting here tonight with a balanced budget. And as we heard about 45 minutes ago, there's other parts of the world that are struggling with a lot more than we are, than worrying about a few dollars here and there. So kudos to everybody, and I'll support this budget this evening.
Regarding the waterfront parking lot, as a member of the parking committee, I do find it falls right in line with our efforts and complements the work on Newcastle Boulevard, Fountainhead Lane recently, Queen Elizabeth Park a few years ago, and the home renewal of that core of our area. And it certainly would also offer a safer and more lit parking lot for the safety of shop owners, so the staff, excuse my English there. With that, it's a $600,000 project. I do perceive it as a problem, but I offer you no solution here, so I'm kind of torn between this as we went back to the well, as Jason had alluded to, Councillor Harris, excuse me, that we trimmed $1+ million off this. But, you know, if it is a no, I would strongly suggest that it's not necessarily a no, but a not now. And as monies free up or new budgets come in the future, that it come to the forefront of those procedures moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I will note that Director Gorman had indicated in her presentation last week that the projects that had to drop out of this proposed budget don't go away. They're not a no. They're still always in consideration for future years. And so it's important to note that. Seeing nothing further, I will call the vote then on this capital budget. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?